Hello everyone and welcome to the part 3 of the cat versus dog prediction results. In the last video we were running a model and we saw the validation accuracy and validation losses. In this video I'll introduce you to an awesome tool called TensorBoard with which we can visualize our results and see which model predicted better. So we'll see that in detail and now in Sublime. So I've just written some code which is actually the code that was in the Jupyter notebook that we saw in the last video. So I just transferred that code into this particular Sublime text. I'll zoom in a bit. So there is nothing fancy or nothing new in this code. It is exactly the same that was in the uh, Jupyter notebook. I just took that and pasted that in a Sublime text so that when we are running it will be easy for us. And in order to introduce TensorBoard, so TensorBoard is actually an awesome tool from TensorFlow, which is actually used in visualization of various models, like how it performed, how the validation loss performed, how the training accuracy performed. So you can visualize all those in detail with TensorBoard. So TensorBoard is actually a very useful tool for visualizing multiple models. Say for example, if you are running like 20 to 30 models at a time, and you can visualize all those models very accurately using TensorBoard, and with TensorBoard you can pick up one best model. So that is what TensorBoard is used for. These visualizations can be done even with libraries like Matplotlib or Seaborn, but TensorBoard is even more advanced. It is easy as well as it is efficient. So let's see how we are going to do that. So in order to do that, what I'll do is I'll just import TensorBoard. In order to import TensorBoard, what you need to do is from TensorFlow dot keras dot callbacks import TensorBoard. So from keras callbacks, there is a module called TensorBoard, and TensorBoard we need to create an object for TensorBoard now. So I'll just type TensorBoard equals, and we need to call that TensorBoard here. And inside this you need to pass in only one argument called logdir, that is log underscore dir if I'm not wrong. So log underscore dir equals, you need to specify a file path here. So I'll just mention logs. So this file path is nothing but so currently we have our directory here, right, where these training models, the Sublime text file that I'm using right now, so it's there, right? So we are going to create a folder here. So that is what we call as logs. So a new folder called logs will be generated, and inside this folder what we'll do is we can create the logs of multiple models that we are going to train. So in order to do that, what I'll just do is I'll just create multiple names for those folders. So I'll just name cat versus dog prediction, and what I can do is I'll just use format strings here. So why I'm introducing this format strings here is because every time what happens when we train a new model, we forget to rename this. So in order to avoid that, this automatically catches the timestamp of that time and creates new folders for us every time inside this particular logs. So in short, what we are doing is we are importing TensorBoard and we are creating a folder called logs, and inside that folder any subfolders for our logs to store. So those folders are named like cat versus dog prediction and the particular time that is going through. So with this we can visualize all those models. Guys, please make sure you give this logdir path correctly. So it should be a format string, and it should be logs, which is the name of the folder that we are going to create. Essentially, this can be of any name, but I'm creating this as logs. You can create it as any name, and you need to mention two backslashes here, and then followed by the name that we created here, this name, and then followed by two backslashes. So only then the logs will be correctly saved. So please mark this correctly, else you will face an error. Do is go to your model.fit and mention callbacks. equals, you need to pass the TensorBoard object that you gave there. So the TensorBoard object is nothing but the object that we created here, right? So that you need to pass here. But this should always be passed inside a list. So once that is done, we can go to our terminal and run this. So I'm in the terminal now, and what you need to do is you need to type Python space and the name of our file training models.py and then hit enter. So this will train our model, and it will save the logs in our folder. So I'll pause the video for now and come back once it is done. The training has been completed right now. You can see the 5 epochs here. So the training has been done for 22,500 images, and 10% of it has been given for the validation. And we have the training and validation accuracy here. And the important part that we need to do is, as we gave the logs, right, a new folder called logs will be generated. So inside this folder only, the name that we gave for the folder will be there. So this contains all the logs inside this, which we are going to view with the TensorBoard. So let's now see how we are going to view this with the TensorBoard. And you need to open your terminal for that, and you just need to go where this particular logs folder is present. So in my case, it's present right over here. So I just go there, and what you need to do is you need to type TensorBoard hyphen logged equals logs. So logs is the name of the folder here. So you need to give logs and followed by a slash here. Because just because our folder name is logs here, you need to give logs. If your folder name is something else that you gave, then you need to give that name and put in a slash here and hit enter. So once that is done, you will get a URL kind of a thing here. So TensorBoard 1.15 or some version that you use at this particular URL. So with this particular URL, you need to copy this particular URL and paste it in your browser. So when you paste it in your browser, TensorBoard will give you the results. So I'll now copy this particular path. I'll paste that URL in my browser and I get a window like this. So you'll also be getting the same window, and you'll see some of the graphs here. So one says epoch accuracy and the other says epoch loss, and there will be another section called epoch validation accuracy, and the last one will be epoch validation loss. So what these things are trying to tell us is that so these lines are percentage of accuracy, and this is the percentage of the loss. So you can actually play around with the smoothing here. So I'll just set my smoothing down to 0 to exactly see what happens. You can just play around with this, and this accuracy actually starts. So we gave 5 epochs, right? So so this kind of gives back us those results. So it shows the accuracies here. So similarly for the loss as well, it shows the accuracy. So let me zoom in a bit and let me show you. So loss has been reduced. This is the training loss, so that is good. And in the validation accuracy is reduced, and then it has gone higher. There is a problem here. So you can see the validation loss. So we actually want our validation loss to reduce, but it has reduced in the first epoch, but again it has creeped up, so which indicates that our model isn't that good. So we'll see how we can tune this. We'll now try to run another model. I'm going to create another model now in our code. So for this another model, I will just add one more convolution layer and pooling layer. So I'll just mention one more convolution layer here, and I'll add another dense layer. So just to check the differences between the previous model and the model that we are going to run now. And I don't need this input shape here because it will directly take the shape from the previous layer. And with that said, let's just now run the second model that we have. Cool. I'll now go to the terminal and then type Python, yeah, training models.py. So I'm now training the second model. I'll just pause the video for now and come back again once this particular model is completed, and we'll use TensorBoard to view the results of that model and compare it with the previous model. Our training is completed now for the second model. So we can see the accuracy and validations here. And when we go to the file explorer, inside logs, now there are two folders here. The first folder is for the model that we created earlier, and this is for the latest model that we have created now. And let us now take a look at the tensor board on how it looks like. So similarly, like the last time, I will type tensor board hyphen logger equals logs, because only inside logs are present, and only with that we are going to visualize that. I'll hit enter, and this should show now the URL for us to view. And here is the URL. So I'll just copy this one, and I'll just paste it in my browser. Now we can see there are two models here. One is the orange color and other is the blue color. So the orange is the one that we trained earlier, and blue is the latest model that we have trained. And I am just going to reduce the smoothing here, and I'll just give an overview on this thing. So you can either look at one of the model, or you can even look at both the models. So it is like that according to your preference. So we can now compare these two models easily here. So the orange model's training accuracy was good when compared to the blue model, and similarly the orange model's training loss has been reduced to a greater extent when compared to the blue model. And it also kind of shows the legend at the bottom, so indicating all the values here, and the epochs and things. But our interest is on validation accuracy and validation loss. So validation accuracy and validation loss is very important. So if a model performs good in the training model and didn't perform good in the validation model, it means that your model is overfitted. So a good model should actually perform good in both the training as well as the validation. So now let us look at the validation accuracy. So clearly in the validation accuracy, our blue model, that is the second model, has done really very well. You can see the orange model has reduced here, but the blue model has done good in the validation accuracy. And coming to the validation loss, we saw earlier, right? After a point of time, our orange model was creeping up in the losses. But you can clearly see our second model, that is the latest model that we have developed, right? With an extra convolution layer and max pooling layer and an extra dense layer. So the loss is drastically reduced. So in this case, I would say that the blue model that we have developed is actually better when compared to the orange model which we developed earlier. So like that, you can see visualize all these things here. So what I would tell you guys is that try with the same thing that I have just showed you, like train with many models by using TensorBoard, and visualize all these model here, and do come up with a good model. So good model in the sense, I mean, like good model should perform good in both the training as well as the validation. So both the validation accuracy and the training accuracy should be high, and both the training loss and the validation loss should be less. So come up with a model like that, like play around with all these code here. So you need to play around with the number of neurons that we have, a number of convolution layers that we are going to give, number of max pooling layers that you are going to give, and the number of dense layers and the number of neurons in the dense layer and the activation functions in the dense layers that you are going to give. So kind of play around with multiple models, run multiple models, and just visualize all those models using TensorBoard, and with those multiple models, come up with a model, and comment if you face any issues or concerns or questions, and also comment down your model that was best in this particular tensor board accuracies, like how many convolutions you used and what is the accuracy that you got. Comment down them. And in my next video I will also come up with a model. I'll also try um, like training many models and come up with a good model. And in my next video on the series we'll see how we are going to save a model, and with that model how we are going to do get the final result of an image that is not in our data set or validation set, whether the model is predicting that is a cat or a dog. So before that, you guys just play around with all these things, create your own models and comment down the models and accuracies that you have got. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. See you soon. Bye.